All right, Mark here. Y'all know I do cookbooks and bring information. Now, I've been seeing, y'all know if y'all been watching any of my videos, I study the sciences, theology, and I dissect it all. I assess it, do some critical thinking, analytical thinking, and try to bring and make it as comprehensible as possible and applicable, more importantly, how to apply it into our everyday lives. And my page is very positive. I try, I'm intentionally and deliberately motivational and inspirational and professional. And, I'm not a rah ratchet type of guy. That's just not me. I'm not going to try to be what I'm not. So if you've been watching my videos, you could see the kind of personality that I am. All right, very inspirational. That's the kind of guy that I am. That's what I want to put that vibe out there. That's the kind of energy that I want to emit and radiate into the universe. But this video is gonna be a little different. Now, I want to speak on something I've been, because I put videos up. I listen to a lot of other people's videos too, right? Because you can learn from everyone. So I listen, and there's this ideology that I see floating around out there, and it's an ideology, but it's an idiotology, because, ladies, I hate to burst your bubble, and don't be mad at me. Before I say this, let me preface it by this. Look, I love the black woman. I respect the black woman. I honor the black woman. You are my backbone. You're my strength. Without you, there is no me. I am all for cheering for my sisters. However, what I'm not for is calling you gods. You're not a god. Okay, the black woman is not a god, and neither is the black man. Let me balance it out. This is not a male chauvinistic or any kind of male patriarchy, dominancy. No human being is God, man or woman. No human being. I don't care what you are, what color, nationality, creed. No human being is God. Fellas, let me say this, and let me say this to you, and listen and heed and hear me well. Stop running G on these sisters. Stop running game on these women. A lot of these brothers who are telling y'all black women that y'all are gods, one thing I've noticed, most, if not all, a lot, have multiple wives. They believe in this polygamy stuff. So I start to put one-on-one together. Look, I used to, back in the day, before I got into my studies and research, I used to read a lot up on Iceberg Slim. I used to read the Art of Mackin. I used to read up on the pimps. I used to read up on the books. So I know game when I see game. And fellas, y'all are slick. That's G. That's G on a whole nother level. Here's why, ladies and fellas, gonna be mad at me for this one, because they're like, damn, I'm blowing them. I'm blowing it up. Like I'm turning your cards over. I'm showing your cards. So ladies, listen, the word sycophant. Sycophant is someone who lays it on thick. When it comes to flattery, oh, they lay it on thick. I'm talking about lube. You dig? To call a woman a goddess or to give her god status is the ultimate form of sycophanting. Right, if that makes any damn sense. To call anybody, a woman, man, anybody, to call a woman a goddess, a god, give her God, to godify her, is the ultimate ego stroking, ego lubing, ego praising, sycophant flattering. It is the ultimate cajolery, right? It is the ultimate form of cajoling. It is the ultimate form of seduction. I mean, giving a woman God status is to godify her. I mean, it don't get no better than that. And like I said, a lot of the guys who I notice who are doing this, they believe in polygamy. When you start to add one and one together, you're only going to get two. You're not going to get three. So I'm like, wait a minute. These dudes believe in polygamy. They're telling all these black women, the black woman is God nonsense. And then I see the response from the black woman, which further befuddles me, mystifies, and bewilders my logical thinking. And I'm a pretty logical thinking and rational guy. But my ration becomes perplexed, befounded, confounded, and bewildered by the response from the sisters. Because I'm like, wow, it's that easy? It's that easy, really. It's that easy. Call you a god and whoop, panties are coming off. Forget about, back in the days, it was the R&B singers. Like, they get on stage and they sing that sweet song, some Luther or some Marvin Gaye or, Barry White. They sing, and panties are coming off. Panties is just sliding right off. But now I realize that, okay, these brothers who can't sing, they ain't got no vocal cords, but they got that G. And that G don't stand for game, it stand for God. If I tell them they gods and godify them, then I'm gonna definitely get them. So fellas, stop telling these black women they gods so that you can get panties, because that's all it is. It's game. It's G. It's G, and G stands for God. You gotta find these women so you can get panties. Because again, a lot of these men, sisters, if you'll notice, they believe in polygamy. So they have multiple women, multiple wives, and the angle that they're using is not finance, because a lot of these brothers ain't got finance. So it's not finance. It ain't R&B style. It ain't debonair, suave. It's tell them they're gods. And you find this in the conscious community mainly. So, and the justification that they use, it's hogwash. Oh, I've heard some people say the black woman is God because they're the creators of life. Sisters, I love y'all. Y'all are matriarch, and you guys are the first nurturers. You give us nurturing, right? You're the first nurturers of the black, of any baby, any child. I get that. You are the first teacher. I get that. I'm all for you. Like I said, I salute my sisters. Hands, salute. You have my utmost respect and honor. But again, I will not stoop so low as to call you a god or a goddess, because that is only to do you psychological damages, right? There's a psychological damage that I'm doing to you when I do that. To inflate your ego and to inflate your ego and to balloon your confidence, knowing that it's on the inside, that confidence is not built on confidence, but rather a false pretense of you being a god. So I'm not even building you up. I'm filling you up with hot air, an empty barrel. You're really empty. There's no substance. Because in all actuality, no human being is God. And the reason why no human can be God is because all human beings are inherently flawed. I'll say that again. Every single human being that walks the face of the earth, we are all inherently flawed. Genetically, we are flawed. What I mean by that is, even if you're born with all your faculties, all your members intact, you inherited your parents' genes. Your parents inherited their parents' genes, and their parents, so on and so forth. And within your DNA, within your genes, information is transferred, right? It's called mRNA, messenger RNA, tRNA, transfer RNA, DNA, deoxynucleic acid, right? DNA, deoxynucleic acid, RNA, ribonucleic acid, tRNA, transfer ribonucleic acid, right? So you have all these different transference of information, and what if you study biology, you will know that within our genes is information that's transferred from our parents, and your thoughts that you think are yours can be handed down hereditary, like a trait, a gene. So thoughts are inherited from your parents. Okay, information is inherited from your parents. So within your biology, there is inherent flaws. It could be cancer. Now, you have the cancer gene. It might be benign and masked by a dominant gene, but it's still there. It might be diabetes or any kind of illness. Okay. And even if there's no illness, again, there is still the psychological flaws that is passed down to us. Right. And it could be masked, but that doesn't mean it's not there. If you study Mendel's law and you understand how biology works. So we're all flawed inherently, physiologically, biologically, and no God can be flawed. Because God, and again, fellas, that's calling these women gods. Women, the next time a guy tell you you're a goddess, ask him to define goddess. Like, what is a god? And if you understand, maybe his definition is subpar. And if his definition is subpar, then he's flattering you. He's lying to you. He's stroking the hell out of your ego so he can later on get you back to his house and have your panties down. I'm just telling you facts. So, and then the other thing, again, another justification. Okay, women are creators of life. No, you're not. That is how can I say that? That is what's the word? Specious. That's the word I'm looking for. Specious. That is a specious argument that the black woman is the creator of life, that you guys are the creator of life. That is a specious argument. The reason why it's specious is because there is some truth in it. And the word specious means having an semblance of truth, but when you dig deeper, you realize there's some lies. That's what specious means. It's another way of saying it's dubious authenticity. I love that term. It's a dubious authenticity. Why? Because dubious means uncertain. Authenticity means authentic. So it's kind of oxymoronic. You have a dubious uncertainty, but yet you have authenticity. How is that? How can you say that's cognitive dissonance, Mark? No, it's not. Let's square the circle. Yes, you are a creator of life. But to say you are a creator of life and give you God status would imply that you're an independent creator of life. If the statement is, if the argument, the premise, your major premise is the black woman is a creator of life, and these are the things I hear on social media to justify calling the black woman God, giving you God status, which is bonkers. You're creator of life. That implies that you are an independent creator. You are a creator of life. It didn't say you co-create. It said you are a creator of life. This is the argument they use. That's dubious authenticity. It's specious at best. At worst, it's an outright lie. Because I am not a creator of life. I am a co-creator. So are you. Together, we create life. You and I create life. You cannot create life. Your ova needs my gamete. Your gamete needs to meet my gamete. Gametes are sexually reproductive cells. Your gamete independently cannot procreate. My gamete independently cannot procreate. But should our gametes meet, copulate, then together procreate. So therefore, that debunks the argument that you are a creator of life and therefore we're giving you God status. No. Stop it, fellas. Stop lying to these women. They're not creators of life. They're co-creators. They cannot create life on their own. Oh, well, maybe they can go to the doctor and do. No. We're not talking about any kind of artificial or science and the scientific man-made, hodgepodge put together. No. In the natural order of things, evolution, in the natural nature of things, a woman is a co-creator with her male counterpart. A male is a co-creator with his female counterpart. That's called logical, rational, deductive, scientific method reasoning. But see, ladies, they fool you. They play on your emotions. They play on the ego, the vanity that we all suffer from at times. So the logics, the reasons they give for Godifying you, I debunk them and I rebuke them. I rebuke them like we're in church. We rebuke that. That's a lie. The black woman is not God. And ladies, you should not feel offended or disrespected. If I call you any kind of pejoratives or any kind of disrespectful terms outside of your name, then you should feel offended. But if I say you're not God, you should not feel offended. And if you do feel offended, that is you have drunken the Kool-Aid and got drunken off of their lies. And that's your fault. But I'm not condemning you. What I am trying to do is to enlighten you that you are a queen, you're beautiful, your confidence should be esteemed, self should be esteemed. That's why it's called self-esteem. You should definitely esteem yourself. Walk with your head held high, shoulders back, definitely stand strong. Again, without you, there is no me. I am definitely team woman, all team women. Never been team men, just for the record. I'm a heterosexual, straight guy, love women. I came out of a woman. And every day my goal is to get back into a woman. Let's be clear. Okay? So I'm all for women. But I will not stoop or I will not degenerate myself. I will not degenerate myself to such low levels of trying to run game on my sisters by calling them gods in hopes that I can get panties. That's just not, I can do better than that. I have more swag than that. I have more confidence than that. I have more enthusiasm and what's the word? Charismatic. I am more charismatic than that. I have more gravitational pull than that. I can pull you to me without using the God line, the you're a God line, because you're not a God, ladies, and I'm not a God. No, look, I'll give you a quick analogy before I run. If I take a cup of water out of the ocean, can I say this small cup of water is the ocean? The is a definite article in terms of grammar. I cannot say this cup of water is the ocean. I can say this is a portion of the ocean. And for all intents and purposes, it is. This is a portion of the ocean, this cup of water. But it's not the ocean. Well, you and I are a portion of God. We're an aspect, a part, but we are not the ocean. Ocean in this analogy is representative of God. The cup of water is representative of you and I. You and I are drops of the ocean. We're not the ocean. We're cups of the ocean. We're not the ocean. We're fragments. We're parts. We're pieces of God, but we're not the God. You see what I'm getting at? We have the cup of water has the same basic building blocks, H2O, two hydrogen atoms and an oxygen atom. So it has the basic building blocks of the ocean, but it's not the ocean. You and I have the basic building blocks of God, of the God, but we're not the God, if you get what I'm saying. We have we have bestial nature because we belong to, of the five kingdoms, what is it? It's archibacteria, bacteria, plant, fungi, animal. We belong to the animal kingdom. So we have a bestial nature, but we also have what's called a divine or a divinity, a divine nature, which if we go into biology and start to talk about the brain, what part of the brain would be considered the divine part of the brain, we would say that biologists would call that the neocortex. If you go into spirituality, they talk about the seven chakras and the top chakra and top chakra, etc. But the point I'm making is, so we do have the divine aspect of us, and we do have a bestial aspect of us, but most people reside in the bestial aspect. Most, not all, most of us reside in bestial nature. We don't matriculate, we don't graduate, we don't educate, we don't promote, we don't rise to the university of our divinity. I'll say that again. Most of us don't educate, we don't promote, we don't graduate, we don't matriculate into the university of our divinity. We reside mostly in our bestial nature. This is why there's so much stuff going on in the world. And if you know what stuff means, it's a whole nother conversation. But again, ladies, I love y'all. And this is not to crush or to disrespect y'all. It's to enlighten you guys. Stop letting these polygamous men run game on y'all. Because polygamy is their motivation. A lot of these men have multiple wives and multiple women, and they run that you're a God game. And that is the ultimate flattery that a man can cast or thrust upon a woman, telling her she's a goddess. It makes your juices flow. You know what I'm saying? It gets you all fuzzy on the inside. And then they're on the inside. And you get what I'm saying? So be mindful of that. Don't let them deceive you and lead you astray with that. Okay? And fellas, let me say this to you. If you're going to say your woman, the black woman, which is your woman, is a god, if your black woman is your god, then I could bang your god. Because if you leave your god around me long enough and my charisma start oozing, they're going to start oozing and you're going to start losing. So I'm just saying, stop with this god stuff. Stop lying to these women, fellas. Stop it. Stop it. You can do better. You are more intelligent. You are more articulate. You are more... You have more to offer than to delude and deceive and skullduggery. Stop the skullduggery. Stop the hoodwinking, the bamboozling. Cut it out. Just cut it out. Till next time. Peace.